From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Can't say it enough times. Watch out for the ice. That's the warning from everyone, from drivers to pedestrians this morning. Coming up, we'll have a look at local road conditions, tips on how to stay safely on the road during this first taste of winter. And the snow didn't stop Indigenous Peoples Day celebration in Bozeman last night. We'll show you the ceremony and we'll hear from a participant. Well, good morning. If you've not been outside, I would recommend not going. If you have been outside, you're back in cuddled up. Sick days will abound today.
Yeah.
Travel just, if you don't have to, don't go, especially to the east of Bozeman, between Bozeman and Livingston. Don't do it.
I say it a lot. I'll write you a note this morning, especially if you're driving over Bozeman Pass. The reports that we're getting right now, eastbound traffic from the pass down is at a complete standstill. It's going slow no matter which way you look at it. It took about an hour, some of the reports that we're getting in, to get from Livingston back toward Bozeman, and it's complete standstill from Bozeman back toward Livingston. Temperatures into the 20s and 30s. Leave extra time this morning. It is nasty out. The temperatures are below the freezing mark, which means ice is compounding things. We still have some snow flying. There may be some patchy fog in a few areas, so we do have some travel concerns. Our daytime highs only into the 30s. Most of the snow should be completely done by the noon hour. There may be a few flakes lingering, but I don't think that it's going to be a big contention at that point. It's mainly the damage is already done. We get a lot of snow and ice on the area roadways. We're going to break it all down for you in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. We're going to stay on that topic. Driving safely and defensively, vital in situations like we have this morning. TN's Jane McDonald talked with a towing company and a local police sergeant to learn how you can stay ahead of the ice.
Drivers are taking Main Street a little more cautiously now as the stoplights just turned back on after being out due to a power outage.
We are pretty busy today. We've probably done about 15 today.
15 people reaching out to rescue by noon. And classes at MS were canceled and Main Street intersections became what people described as a mess when stoplights became a four-way intersection. No matter your experience in the snow, it seems like it's time to brush up on safety and defense.
Give yourself extra time to get wherever you're going to go. Leave a little bit earlier. Give extra distance between you and the other vehicle, and drive slow and defensive. That's the best advice I can give, is just take your time.
And if you're in an intersection where the power is out, just treat it like a four-way stop. Now, all these things may seem simple, and if you yourself are comfortable driving in the snow, you don't know if the person behind you is. According to the Montana Highway Patrol traffic tracker, there have been multiple crashes in Gallatin County. Now, going slow and being defensive does not just go for drivers. This video was taken early Monday morning outside of Meadowlark Elementary School, a crosswalk heavily used by students. You see here someone pressing the button. Lights are going to be flashing, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 cars pass. The man again presses the button, but one last car skates by before he can pass. It took this person about a minute to get from one side of the street to the other.
If you're running or doing some type of workout stuff, I saw some people, very motivated people this morning doing that. It wouldn't hurt to have some type of reflective gear on to keep yourself safe and visible. Especially the first snow event, when it freezes up, it's usually pretty rough the next day. So just take your time, go slow, give space.
If there is a time to be a defensive driver or a defensive pedestrian, it just may be now. In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Jane. 6:33. Half a foot of snow, freezing temps did not stop people from dancing to the beat of drums last night on Pete's Hill as Bozeman residents gathered to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, hundreds gathered hand in hand, participated in a round dance, which is a traditional social dance led by the Rhythm of the Bear Canyon Singers. They danced on a snowy trail framed by 7 large teepees overlooking the city of Bozeman. It was a celebration of Indigenous culture through dance and light. The event hosted by Mountain Time Arts. Those gathered heard a land acknowledgement and a proclamation from Bozeman Mayor Cindy Andrus. Other speakers included Dr. Walter Fleming, head of the Montana State University Department of Native American Studies, who delivered a blessing offering words of resilience. Former Montana Superintendent of Public Instruction Denise Juneau spoke to the next generation, saying she hopes to inspire more education of Indigenous history and education equality across the state of Montana.
I would love for people to do as much research as possible, learn about all that we've been through, because I know that's not not a lot of people learn about that in schools. I'd love to learn about the genocide, all the hardships that we have been through, and also how we've overcome that.
Now, still time to catch teepees on Pete's Hill. The last night to see the teepees bathed in light will be October 17th. Display will come down the next day. Mountain Time Art's still asking for donations, which makes art exhibits like this one possible. If you'd like more information on how you can help, visit our website for that information. 6:35 now. The boundary for Montana's new congressional district has yet to be drawn, but nearly a half a dozen candidates are hard at it campaigning for the 2022 race. Two of them are Republicans, and on Monday they released their first fundraising totals. MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison gives us the lowdown on this early money.
The two Republicans running for this new seat are former Congressman and former U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke and former State Senator Al Olszewski, an orthopedic surgeon from Kalispell. Early Monday, Olszewski revealed that he met his fundraising goal he set for himself for the first 3 months of the campaign.
I'm excited to say that for this first quarter, I raised $300,000. It was a big goal, and we reached it. And this was raised with over 600 donors, and over 90% of them are from Montana.
He also told MTN News that this total includes $10,000 of his own money. But Zinke's campaign reported money that he raised about $600,000 these past 3 months, more than any other candidate in the race so far. In his earlier campaigns for Congress, Zinke has shown himself to be a prodigious fundraiser, with a national network of donors that produced almost $6 million in campaign cash in 2016 and $4.6 million in 2014. The only other candidate coming close to Zinke's total these past 3 months was Democrat Cora Newman of Bozeman, who said she raised $470,000 during the period. Two other Democrats are in the race, State Representative Lori Bishop of Livingston and Missoula attorney Monica Tranell. And a fourth Democrat, former State Representative Tom Winter of Missoula, is considering entering the race. While candidates are revealing their early fundraising totals, we haven't yet seen the details on where that money is coming from. That information will become available Friday, when candidates must file their detailed third quarter reports with the Federal Election Commission. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
6:37 now. When layoffs became rampant during the pandemic, age bias became more pronounced. It happened as employers had to consider who to keep on and who to let go. Dan Grossman sat down with two women who are trying to change the narrative.
At various times in our lives, we will get passed by, not chosen.
How old are you?
I'm 67.
67.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little
And
bit
a
about
half.
For Linda Harmon, it was her age when prior to the pandemic, she applied for a big title job in the business community and was passed on for someone in their 30s.
I had a track record, a very successful track record. I was well known in Denver for being one of the best in the industry. And it was like, okay.
Linda didn't know it at the time, but ageism, or age discrimination like she believed she experienced, only became more prevalent, more damaging once the pandemic began.
I've had probably maybe half a dozen friends of mine who've been in similar issues. The big joke with women my age is, oh, you got to keep your hair colored, you got to do this, you got to do that, or they'll know how old you are. And if they know how old you are, you can't get hired.
Prior to COVID-19, a study by AARP found 61% of people ages 40 to 65 either had seen or experienced ageism in their workplace. This past May, when the study was repeated, that number jumped to 78%. That's the highest number AARP had seen since it started tracking the issue back in 2003.
I think it's all about stereotypes and kind of prejudice. It's like this narrative we have out there that getting older is awful and scary.
Janine Vanderberg works for a group called Changing the Narrative, which focuses on combating age discrimination. When she joined in 2018, its focus was to help Americans reframe their ideas about aging. But after she heard one story from a 6th grader who told her how her grandmother was depressed because she couldn't get hired, that all changed.
Ageism on every single level hurts us financially, hurts us health-wise, because and this is, I think, also why it's really hard to get people to go on camera. People don't want to admit that they think there was something wrong with them, as opposed to we've got a systemic issue going on, which is called age bias.
It was very tough.
For Linda, she didn't apply to a new job for 2 years as she worked through fear and self-esteem issues. Not only does ageism have its psychological effects, it has its financial ones. Another study by the Urban Institute and ProPublica found that 90% of workers over the age of 50 who were pushed out of jobs before they were ready to retire never recovered their previous earning power.
When there's gaps in what could allow you to get the job, your dream job, you go fill those gaps. And I looked at this and I thought, this is a gap I can't fill. I can't go back 25 years. So what am I going to do?
For the last year, Linda has gone back to working at her hometown newspaper, what she went to school for, as she seriously considers retirement and next steps, hoping others like her don't find themselves on a ledge as precarious as the one she sits on.
How do you get people out of their way of thinking and way of doing things and get them so they are competitive with people that are 30, 40 years younger than them?
I'm Dan Grossman.
Oh, we are making progress, but so much more to do. 6:41 now, we are going to take a break. When we come back, wouldn't it be great to wake up to a raging volcano outside your hotel room window? Maybe it's not for you, but a lot of people, it sounds like the perfect vacation. After the break, learn how that big volcano in the Canary Islands is creating a new tourism hotspot. But first, let's check in with Gail King.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS Morning, Southwest Airlines is canceling flights for a fifth straight day in a row. Hear from very angry passengers that are just trying to get home as questions remain about the cause of all those delays. Also, there's a dangerous new viral craze, if you heard about this, challenging students to destroy school property. What teachers are asking social media companies to do to stop all the violence. And first on CBS Mornings, Anthony goes fishing with Nick Offerman. Yes, Anthony Mason fishes. Find out why the actor's love of the outdoors is really no act. We'll see you 7 o'clock, top of the hour.